Good evening, everyone. Just an ordinary night in New York City with 1,500 people looking to have a great party. Is that what I'm watching here? All right, I thought so. Well, this is an extraordinary venue. First of all, the Met is the keeper of the stories of back to 5,000 years as we honor the artists and the historians and the places for cultures and places from around the world can come together in no place but New York. And so I'm delighted to be here once again to support the Met, but I'm honored to receive recognition along with so many outstanding individuals, starting with someone I had the privilege of serving in Congress with, and that is our great champion of small businesses and the people of her district and the people of New York, and that is Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez. I want to also thank Agnes Shu-Tang, the Met trustee, for all she does, and with also her work and her philanthropy, lifting up people from all throughout this community. I want to thank her for being such a strong ally of the arts and history and culture. So thank you, Agnes Shu-Tang, for all you do for us as well. Jasmine Wahid, the Director of Project for Empty Space, thank you for giving people an opportunity to have a different outcome in life. And that's what there you go, you got some fans out here. I will be brief because you look like you've got a lot of energy right now. You don't want to hear politicians give speeches. Am I right about that? All right. But let's talk about the struggles of women throughout the history of our state and say, where are we today? Back in 1848, over 300 brave, audacious women somehow found their way to a tiny place called Seneca Falls in central New York without GPS or Instagram telling them where it is. I mean, can you imagine that? How did they find their way there? I will also say there were a few enlightened men who joined them as well. So to all the men who support the women, like Frederick Douglass did on that day, helping fight for women's right to vote, we need all the allies even to this day. Am I right about that? So, brave, audacious women. I love that phrase. But they were undeterred. They marched for 70 years. People like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, and so many who fought the battles and never lived to have that simple right that we take for granted today, and that is the right to vote. So I ask the question, when we look back through these years of history, what will historians say about the women of our time? Did we take the torch that represents all the battles and all the struggles for true equality that's been passed to us through the generations? Did we take it and make it glow even brighter and pass it to the next generation, focusing on the issues that affect the women of today, like the rights to reproductive freedom throughout the United States of America? Did we do that? Did we fight for the women? Did we fight for our sisters across this nation? Did we fight for paid family leave so everybody can have the ability to stay home when they need to take care of their families? Are we taking care of people, make sure they earn the same as men, because it's not always happening even in 2023? These are the challenges of our time. We will be judged by whether or not we dropped the torch or we held it up higher. And I have confidence in the women and the men of this state who know the moral responsibility we have as people from the state of New York. The birthplace of women's rights for this nation was right here. Never forget that. Pass that on to your daughters and their daughters and let them know our responsibility as New Yorkers to keep the flame burning. Thank you very much for this honor, everybody, and happy Women's History Month.